Okay, welcome back to CAT Grade 12. I'm Mr. Stolz. Today we are going to work with rounding functions. You've got YouTube, African Teen Geeks for anything you've missed, Snaplify for some free ebooks, Office 365 for at mahala.ms, and education.gov for all the old exam papers, which would help you a lot when you are preparing for the year-end exam and for now on. Okay, so our time starts at 6 o'clock on Zoom or on YouTube. We're live, so you're more than welcome to join us if you're not here. Welcome to everybody that are here. Okay, so today we are starting with the rounding functions. Okay, so firstly, that's today. On Wednesday, we're doing text functions, and that would mainly be just small text functions. What would text functions be, and how would the text function work on their own? For example, the left, the right, and the mid all on their own. On Thursday, we're moving over to exam papers and examples of how you would combine more than one text function to create. And that's most probably mainly what you're going to get in exam paper and how most of the marks are going to be. On Wednesday, there's also going to be small little questions of examples how to be asked in exam paper. And on Friday, we're moving over to HTML links. If there's any request on other presentations or work you want to do, you can let me know. From next week, we will follow the ATP as set out by the Department of Education. And this would most probably be, you would be doing it in the day at school, and at night you could have a revision session, or sometimes vice versa. Okay, but anytime you can just let me know and I'll work in topics if you struggle with them. Okay, first rounding function today would be the normal basic round. So we are moving away from just rounding just by using the round. And to show you what I mean by it, we are moving away. If I jump to the screen, we are moving away from saying, okay, this is 207. I want an extra zero. So I add some zeros or I remove the zeros, for example. Okay, so you're not going to get marks anymore for doing this. Okay, so this does not work anymore. However, sometimes if you do a function, sometimes you still need to do this. It's just sometimes the function doesn't work. Function works, but it's been formatted, so the 0 would stay even though your function says no zeros, because somebody has worked here and that overwrites your function then. Okay, so refrain from using this. Always use a function. We are marking the function and we will see the result then. Okay, so if I go back to my topic this side, we would see the round. So it's around the number, and most probably, especially in grade 12, this number is going to be a function. So it's not going to be a number. You would have an equal sum or an equal average or any of those functions here, and the number of digits you wanted. So 0 is for if you want a full number, or 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on how many digits you want after the comma. Okay, after this, we've got the round up. So it's the exact same as round, except this one is rounding up, where round is going to round down. And this one is going to round down. So if this is a comma of 4, 5, it would round up. This one would automatically round up. So it's going to be comma 5, but this one's always going to round down. So it's going to be comma 4. So it doesn't matter that it's comma 4, 5, and normal rules would stick it up. This overrides it. Exact same if this was comma 4, 3. This would be comma 4. Round up would make it comma 5. It doesn't matter about the 3. It's going to take it up. We round down would make it comma 4. Then we've got integer. So this is a number of integers you want, and I'll show you an example as well of those. And this one is the trunk. So this is, it just cuts off after the number of digit. It doesn't matter, it just cuts it off. So if you say 4 digits, it's going to be 47291. It's going to cut off the 1. It's not going to matter if it must become higher or smaller or anything. It just cuts it off. Okay. And we will work with these. I'll show you a quick example of all of them just so you understand them, and then we will work with them. Okay, so this integer just makes it a full number. So if it's 79,2947, it's going to stay 79. It doesn't matter anything behind it. Okay, then we'll move to the question papers. Now, if you're online, I've set the question paper in the chat, so you can go to the chat and you can download it. If you don't get it, just pop me a message and I'll help you guys. You get it in the chat. If you're from YouTube side, you can just work with. This is old exam papers, so past papers. This is questions 353, and it will normally sometimes say you need to use a formula. Other times it won't, but you always need to use the formula. Okay, so we're going over to question number 3.5. It's in the 3 reign. So let's read it. So insert a function in cell H49 to determine the average rainfall for May of all the cities throughout the year. Display the average round to the next whole number. Okay, so it says to the next highest whole number. So it doesn't want you to go down. So you're not going to use round or round down, and round up would then work. Okay, you can't use integer because integer just makes it a complete number. It doesn't care about the commas as well as with trunk. Okay, so let's jump over to my Excel quickly and we will see. So here, if we go down all the way, question number 3.5 in the H49. So first of all, they want the average. So there's your first mark, equals average. And you've got the whole May. And there is your first mark. Okay, so there's all the commas. So you'll get 1 mark for using average. Now they say you want a full number and they wanted to round it up. So it's round up. Okay, so that's firstly. And then the number of digits. So you just keep all of this as the number. And then the number of digits is 0 because we want a full number. If it was a 1 comma, we'd have left 1. And so on. But in this case, 0 digits behind the comma. So it's a full number, and you say enter. So it changes it to 25. Okay, let's jump back to your questions again. Okay, open the 3Extreme spreadsheet and work with the exam worksheet. Use the function or formula in cell G4 to determine the number of full days that have passed since the date of the highest temperature in cell F4 experienced in Africa. For example, if the date of the highest temperature was Monday, 11 February 1935, the number of days that have passed would be 29470. Okay, so if I go, and this is a 5 mark, because this is actually a higher order question, not because of round, but because of what you need to do with the dates. Okay, so you've worked with dates. If you do not understand dates, please let me know. If you're in the Zoom, so I can work it in somewhere so we can do some date functions. It's definitely going to be in the end of the exam paper, so you're definitely going to do it sometime. Okay, so we are working in cell F4, so we're going to G4, and they are working with this. Okay, so first of all, they want equals today. Okay, because you want to know how many days are there, or what's the date from today. Okay, so there's a long date, and here we've got this date. Okay, secondly, we want to minus our current date with our old date, and we press enter. Now, this is going to give us a date. Now, we don't want this date. We want it to show a number. Okay, so there's our number. Okay, 32473. Now, they are asking you as well, if the date of the highest temperature was so many days, determine the number of full days that have passed since the date highest temperature. Okay, so full days, and this is this. You just need to go in and say round. And we want full days, so we can either use round 0, but we can't have comma whatever. So you need to use round down. That's one of the options. And you see there, because it's a number, that's what I was explaining earlier. If you start working here, it's going to change, override your formulas here. So just go in there. You're still going to get your marks for doing it correct. Round down today, F4 and 0. Still going to get your marks, but just remember, it's not wrong because your formula is wrong. It's wrong because you have started working into your number formats here. Okay, so you need to go change your numbered format there back to 0. Okay, so finish there. The other option is you can use another formula instead of round down. So let's go here. And you can say 0. And now it would work. It would look good and your formula is good. Okay, so it doesn't matter really there. The other one is instead of round down. Okay, so you've added today minus your all day. So you've got your answer there. And if you just done that and said 0, you wouldn't get any marks. You've only gotten the mark for today. So it's one or 2 marks. So it's 2 marks there. So you've lost 3 marks already. Okay, so the other one is you can use, you want just to have a full number, and that is equals integer. So rounds the number down to the nearest integer. So just integer, your number, choose it up and say enter, and you would get your 5 marks. Okay, so just because integer, you do not use round down, especially because it rounds it down, especially to a full number. So round down normally you would use when you start using comma 1, comma 2, comma 3. Okay, but integer is for the full number. Both of them correct, not one of them is wrong. Both of them would give you marks as well. Okay, and if you know both, and you've shouted at me here for not using the other one, well done, you know your formulas as well. Okay, so let's jump back to the question paper here. Okay, this question here, question number 3. Question number 3 asks us, open for recycle of spreadsheet and work with the mass worksheet. Add a function to the content of cell D27 so that it displays the value in cell D25, rounded to the next highest integer. Okay, so it wants to go to the highest integer. So let's go back and jump to our spreadsheet. We go down to the third cell and we start working on this one. So we're working in cell D27. So we're going down here and it wants, so add a function to the content so that it displays the value in cell D25 rounded to the next highest integer. Okay, so we've just done integer. And if I just leave it there, you can see a rounded number down to the nearest integer. So integer is not going to work. So that's why it's 3 marks. You need to use round up instead of integer. You need to choose your number, and your number of digits is 0. Okay, so the question, we want to round it up, must be 21. And there is your number. So average mass collection by group is 21. Okay, so just remember, you need to read your question. Although it says integer there, you need to use the correct one because it says highest integer. Okay, so I'm just going to jump over to a new sheet here, and I'm just going to write any number here. And I'm just going to add this in here as well. So just insert, and let's zoom it all. Okay, so let's just go through everything here. I'm just going to there. So this is your number. So we've got round, round up, we've got round down, we've got trunk, and then we've got our last one, which I still need to show you guys, which is, oh, that's a chunk, and then we've got the integer. Okay, so here's are all our ones. Just want to make it a little bit so we can see everything and just zoom out. Okay, so here's all the different functions we've done today. Okay, so round would be equals round, and we're going to use, so comma 33, so we're going to use 2 digits, and we're going to use this for now. Okay, so here we set 2, and it stays at 9.3. Okay, so the 3 is not bigger, so it goes over and it stays at 3. If the 3 was more than 4, saying 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, this would have become on 4. Okay, so we all know the round. Okay, so round up, if I say equals round up, I use the number of digits, we're still using 2, and we go enter, you would see it's going to be 9.4. So it doesn't care what is this. It doesn't matter. You said round it up, so it's going one up, so it's a 4. Okay, so nextly we've got round down equals round down. We've got this, and we're saying 2, and it stays 9.3. Even if it was more, it would have just stayed the 3. So it doesn't care. Okay, so chunk is an interesting one. So if I go chunk, it says there, truncates a number to an integer by removing the decimal or fractional part of the number. Okay, so this has got the exact same number. And then it asks how many digits. So if I go there and I say 2 digits, and I go down, and I just double click here, it's going to make it in 3. So it doesn't care if there's how many letters there, it stays at 3. If I change this to a 4, and I double click here, it shows it as 9.3. Okay, so it doesn't care because this is only showing 1, and I go here, it's going to stay there. Okay, so it doesn't care, it stops, and it doesn't matter how many you say, it just counts 1, 2, 3, 4, and it stays at 4. So you see again there, it goes there 1, 2, 3, 4, changes that 5 to 0. So it doesn't care what's after the 7, changes it to 0, and it would go to every single one. Okay, so that just basically cuts it off. So it just takes it basically scissors and just cuts off the letters, or a razor, and erases the rest off. Just stays there. Okay, integer. If I say equals integer, we've done this one. It rounds a number down to the nearest integer. So it always rounds down. So this and this is basically the same, round down, except for this one you can round commas, and this one is just full numbers. So it doesn't care that this was a 9, 32, 9. It just changes it to zeros. So it doesn't care, takes all of this away, and just keeps the number 2. Okay, so integer, that's a chunk, round down, round up, and round. I'm sure all of these functions are understandable now. If it's not, you can always let me know, and I'll make time somewhere to explain it again for you guys. Okay, so there's the chunk and all of our functions. Okay, we've done the questions. That's it for today. You guys need to remember to have a nice day. Remember to stay safe, and always hard work pays off. Time slot is 6 o'clock on Zoom or on YouTube if you want to check it live. And if you don't want to check it live, go to African Teen Geeks, and you can see the offline or the past recordings, and you will finish. Okay, thank you guys, and I hope you've enjoyed the lesson. Any questions, please ask, and I will help you guys out.